Okay, good evening. My name is Robert Newman. I'm the founder of Inbound Real Estate Marketing, and this video is one of my reviews that is connected to me discussing the top 10 real estate website providers in the United States. And you can't have that discussion without talking about Real Estate Webmasters. So Real Estate Webmasters was founded in 2004 by Morgan Carey. Morgan Carey from 2000 to 2004 owned a company, an SEO consultancy company, where he referred to himself as the SEO guy. Since then, since 2004 until 2017, he has built up one of the best, most profitable real estate website development companies in the country. With 150 employees located in 2 offices in Canada, Real Estate Webmasters is about the 3rd largest real estate website developer in the U.S. Or I'm sorry, they're not in the U.S. They're just the 3rd largest real estate website developer. This is an example of a real estate website. It's clean, looks great. It has a proprietary IDX that is, for those of you that don't remember the terminology, that is how properties are displayed, and you're going to get lead captured here. Okay, so you can put down preferred contact method. Their sites are clean, they're easy to read, and they're developed in a very technically proficient way. And most of the time when you're looking at real estate websites, webmasters websites, you are going to be looking at sites that have a lot of SEO ranking. They do a very good job at real estate SEO. This is their own website. I've done this with every other provider. They are number 12 for the term real estate websites, which is, as far as I know, the most competitive term in all of real estate. And somewhere very far down here, they're on the first page for real estate SEO, which is down here. They're not doing all that great for that particular term, but they are ranked for it. And then everything else is MLSs, and they've intended to target most of the searches that they are in front of. So that makes them head and shoulders above most people in SEO. The exceptions would be Easy Agent Pro, who dominates by a very long margin anybody else, and Playster. They both do a much better job at doing SEO for their own websites. But Real Estate Webmasters actually does a better job of doing SEO for their customers, which is a huge difference. One of the things that I definitely want to dispel in my video is the rumor that because Real Estate Webmasters builds a very clean website, that has something to do with SEO. And actually, a number of reviews seem to infer that building a website on WordPress is going to interfere with your SEO results based on, for instance, there being too many plugins or too much clutter and things like that. None of that could be farther from the truth. Okay, the reason that Real Estate Webmasters does so well is that Morgan keeps complete and total 100% control over the way that the websites are operated and presented to the world. And sometimes small factors mean a lot, but an example of somebody that built a real estate website on WordPress is Easy Agent Pro, and they dominate everybody in the industry with the single exception of Playster. So thinking that you can't get great results on a WordPress website is absolutely false. You just have to understand what you're doing and use the right plugins and so on and so forth. And all of that takes some pretty in-depth knowledge, and unfortunately most realtors, even well-meaning ones that know a lot, don't know enough, and they end up shooting themselves in the foot accidentally and harming their performance for SEO. And this is 100% true, and this is why Morgan's solution is he maintains a massive amount of control over his real estate webmaster websites. A perfect example of this is if he or any of his people go through the blogs that are on the website that you bought, that you own, and decides that your opinion isn't well informed or well qualified, they'll actually take your blog post down, and they will not put it back up. So despite the fact that you own the website and other types of things like that, you absolutely are not in control of it. So yes, you own the website, but you're not in control of it. Now I need to be really clear here. My service offering is much the same. If I have a complaint about this particular thing, it's that they don't tell you that up front. Real Estate Webmasters will really not inform you to the degree that they maintain control over the website. Another difference about me and them is that they own the site. You never own the site. That's why he's so particular. He owns the site. You don't own the site. My customers own the site, but I am going to manage their site. I'm going to turn it into a really valuable property, and if they ever want to take that away from me and take control of it themselves, they're welcome to do it. But I'll give them the same warning that I would give anybody. Even small changes can make a big difference, so be very, very careful about playing around with the results that I built for you. Having said that, let's talk about something else that relates to Real Estate Webmasters. So Real Estate Webmasters is really like the best overall real estate website solution that's on the marketplace. It's kind of like, imagine that Apple has built a website. So by all reports, and there's tons of them, Morgan is a very controlling leader, very similar to the way that Steve Jobs was. His own LinkedIn profile actually declares him a savant. He's been on Dragon's Den and other shows where he was offered $50 million for the company. He accepted it on the show and then declined it later, and I would suspect strongly that they told him that he'd have to lose control of the company, and he probably made the assumption that if he lost control of the company would fail. And maybe that's true. I do not know. That could very well be the case. So this is an example. I've also covered the reviews in my blog post. It's important just that you understand that Real Estate Webmasters is also very similar to Apple in the sense that they are completely totally in control of the environment. You don't own, nor will you ever own, the website that you buy from them, and they are far and away the most expensive solution on the marketplace, and there isn't anybody that's close, not even Boomtown. So you need to be aware of what you're getting into. And because of that reason alone, it's a good idea to read these reviews. Now, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, because if all you're looking for is a product that works and a real estate website that's gonna look good, perform good, then Real Estate Webmasters has to be on that list of companies that you take a look at. But you also need to understand what you're really truly looking at. They always are going to end up being, these are some of their fees. Their solutions are going to range on the low end, hear me on this, on the low end, starting with a setup of $1,900 a month and anywhere from $600 to $5,000 to $10,000 per month. Okay, so you're looking at a very expensive solution, and it's all over the web. You don't have to take my word for it. I've linked other reviews from people talking about how much they invested to get their real estate website up and running. So you're going to spend anywhere from, probably up front, like if you wanted a custom site, you're going to spend between $10,000 and $15,000. You will not own the website, and they will not make it easy for you to transfer your content off the website. You can do it, but it won't be easy. And if you build content on their site, which is one of the things that they are really good at, like they're good for SEO, they're good for content. So if you're building up that website and you try to move, you are in big trouble. So a commitment to them is almost like a lifetime commitment, or you are going to lose the value of your website. That is what I've observed the years I've been in this industry. I've talked to many, many people that have invested deep into Real Estate Webmasters. The only good news on the other end of that is that they do tend to make a solution that will produce leads for you. So as long as there's nothing wrong on the other side of your business, you probably are closing deals off your Real Estate Webmaster site. Having said all of that, I just want to emphasize that they are not quite as good at SEO as they say that they are. Or they've gotten very lazy in terms of their own website. It's possible that they'd come back and say, hey, we just don't want to be in front of any other searches. My response would be, well, why wouldn't you want to be number one for real estate websites or other searches that they've obviously targeted, but they just have never gotten past a certain point? And they obviously have the chops for it, so it's just a matter of they don't want to be, or they're not focused on it. And most of the sites that you're gonna see that are, like, here's one that I oftentimes compete against. So it's a good site. It does have a lot of organic traffic. It has 10,000 organic keywords, and everything looks great on the surface of the site. When you open the website up and take a look at where they're getting the traffic from, a very large portion of this comes from these two searches. Now, that's not bad, but this isn't. I know this area very, very well. These are not the searches that you want to be in front of. These down here are all very good. Washington Park, Denver, Denver condominium, these are pretty good. Cherry Creek, Denver, these are good. You'd want to try to add on real estate onto this. The general searches are not going to deliver you the kind of return that the specific searches would. So they're kind of taking a lazy man's route to SEO. They're targeting second-tier keywords, which they might say that they're doing on purpose, but the effect of that is that most of the people coming into the site are going to be looky-loos. They're not going to be, I would be surprised if we talked to the team at Live Urban and they were saying that the website generates a massive amount of business. Probably generates some, but not nearly as much as, let's say, a Boomtown website. So, but these guys are doing organic marketing. They are successful at it. They are getting in front of searches. This is better than anybody else. So I want to be really clear that in terms of a result, the results that we're seeing here are better than anybody else's. They're just not great. Last but not least, these guys have great custom design chops. So they went on Dragon's Den. Morgan went on Dragon's Den. He turned down the deal that they offered him, but then he partnered up with Barbara Corcoran, and she put him in touch with some of the real heavy-duty hitters in terms of luxury real estate, and now they've introduced a number of different designs that all focus on a kind of more elegant look. One thing that's really important to kind of report is that all of this is irrelevant for SEO, and they probably know that, I would suspect. Content SEO these days, you're building on pages. You're not building on the website. You don't need the home page to do very well. What you're going to do is you're going to take a page on a topic and just to make a really good page. That's one of the reasons that it doesn't matter that they have a single server or an integrated IDX. It just doesn't make a difference, because what's going to drive your traffic is going to be a single page that's connected to, let's say, your blog. Okay, and since that's the page that you have that is your gateway page, your landing page, all you need on it is searches connected to that page. You need some way for people to start searching from within the landing page itself. Like, here's an example. This is a post that's driving a lot of traffic from my website, and you know what? This is the first page that people see, even though you want them to go other places. Oftentimes they don't. And that's the way that content marketing works these days. It's not really focused on the home page or whole scattering of pages. It's focused on some very particular pages that you build, full well knowing that you're targeting traffic, that you're going to get them back to that page. And as long as your customer starts to search, they never even see the rest of the website. Doesn't matter how the rest of the website is performing. As long as that particular page works well, you're good. And since 80 to 90% of your traffic will be generated that way, that's actually a far more important concept than people give it credit for. I would just say, I mean, since these guys make such a great product, but because the commitment is really intense, like you're committing to somebody that is going to make arbitrary changes. You're committing to somebody who adjusts prices and rapidly. An example, if you look on the Active Rain reviews I linked, there was at a time, and I don't know what the motivation was this for, but Real Estate Webmasters just decided to arbitrarily raise their prices from $199 to $499. And I don't know if the reviews are true or not. You got to take everything with a grain of salt. But the customers that were on Active Rain were saying that they got no notice. Simply bang, it's $300 more per month. If you don't like it, leave. But remember, you're leaving your website. So if you do leave, you're really given very few choices. Like, you don't have a lot of choices. You'd probably have to go to a full custom WordPress website, and it takes time to build one of those. You don't have, if you got forced or squeezed out of Real Estate Webmasters and forced into making a decision to move to another platform, it's really going to hurt. Perhaps even affect your business deeply, which makes this, I personally, they make the best overall website in the entire business when you add everything into, up together. It's like when you add design, there's lots of websites that do individual things better. Like Sierra Interactive has a better search experience. Boomtown generates more leads and has better lead management by far than Real Estate Webmasters. Also has a better CRM, customer record management system. But Real Estate Webmasters is good in all those categories. It's not the best, but it's good. So when you start adding everything up in terms of an overall website, and they are the only company besides me that has SEO chops. They're the only people that will deliver SEO and actually get you any results at all of everybody on the list of the top 10 providers. They all sell stuff that they call SEO optimization, but believe me when I tell you, they do not deliver traffic that converts into leads. So Real Estate Webmasters and Inboundrem are the two companies that stand alone in that category in terms of how they deliver traffic and what that traffic can mean to you. And Real Estate Webmasters is better than Inboundrem in a number of different ways. They've got better custom designs. They've got tons more experience, thousands more installs. They cost at least 8 or 9 times more, but still, they are more well-rounded in every category. I am cobbling together technology or Inboundrem is cobbling together technology to put together an experience that is similar in terms of managing leads and all of that. The only advantage is that you do have somebody that is committed to delivering an end-to-end solution, and even Real Estate Webmasters does not do that. They come closest, though, because they really, I think if they had their druthers, you're just never going to touch your website. They'll produce it for you, they'll make it look very pretty, and then they want you to pay them $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and they will absolutely drive traffic, and eventually that traffic will convert into leads, and they probably would prefer it if you just left the site alone. I mean, everything I've read, all the reviews I've read, and last but not least, I'm going to wrap up here, but I do actually know other real estate founders and people that I've communicated with over the years that have dealt with both Real Estate Webmasters and Morgan directly. And the information I got is pretty much the same as like a Steve Jobs personality. He's incredibly talented, incredibly bright, but I don't know that there's much room for negotiation with him. And I think that if you end up on the wrong end of discussion related to even a site that you are spending lots and lots and lots and lots of money on, there is no give, there is no play, there is none of that. Hey, you're the customer. I'm gonna work or try to satisfy you. It's my way or the highway. Smell you later. And if you've made a deep enough commitment, that smell you later part is gonna sting like badly. So you really need to understand what you're getting into. If you can manage those things, those expectations, this service is perfect. Real Estate Webmasters is perfect for a real estate team or office that quite literally probably never wants to touch their website. You're gonna put it up, leave it there, and you want to at some point look at leads. And if that's what you want, Real Estate Webmasters can probably deliver. And just don't expect there to be that much give once the site's up. Also, a couple of other details that go into the site. If you have changes that you want to have made, the backlog is anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. And there is no give, there is no paying them to get to the front of the list, there is no negotiation. It doesn't really matter what the change is. You're going to wait in that line every single time that you want something done, and you're going to pay a huge premium to get it changed or fixed. And I'm talking thousands of dollars. So changing or altering your site, there's a very heavy duty fee that goes along with all the other fees that relate to them. So while they are probably the best overall real estate website development company, you are paying the price. They know they are. And Morgan knows he's got you by the short hairs, and he is absolutely positively going to get every single dime of that value out of you that you can. He's been listed on the most profitable, like one of the most profitable companies. There's a list that they keep in Canada, and he's on it every single year. This guy is really out to make his money, and you're going to pay him. The good news there, though, is that if you're closing deals on the opposite end of that, it's an equation. So as long as you're closing real estate deals, and I think he knows that math almost better than anybody. So since he knows he has a site that's going to perform, that it is going to close deals, and the average real estate price across the country is $300,000, which means the average commission is $9,000. He knows that if he's going to deliver a website to you that's going to give you, let's call it 30 or 40 deals per year, that's worth $280,000. You know what? He's gonna take 25% of that. That's what, and he has a post somewhere where he talks about doing that exact thing. So if you want to dig through his posts, you'll quickly see that's basically his formula. He's going to take 20 to 25% of whatever your total commissions are, and that's the math that the company operates under. And he knows and is confident in the fact that he's going to give you a website that's going to perform. And honestly, I can't really fault him. I mean, it's a little bit harsh, but he's not trying to be a volume provider, or at least not at the iteration of the business that he's in now. He's made some attempts over the years, but and Real Estate Webmasters does have an IDX that they sell for $25 to $50 a month, which is pretty cool. I haven't actually seen it integrated on the site, but I certainly know that the concept is cool. So, and it's a fairly limited list of MLSs that it works with. So there's also that. And it seems to me that with what his pricing philosophies is, there very well could be a hook that I'm just not familiar with. And if anybody knows what that is and wants to leave a comment down below and let me know what that is, I would appreciate it, so that I don't accidentally give false information or set up an expectation that people are going to run into if they happen to call Real Estate Webmasters and get a website with them. Last but not least, there's a great Colorado Homes does an amazing review, a really deep and detailed review on transferring over to Real Estate Webmasters. Their cost for doing it was $13,000. They and they weren't done, and they were going to do a lot more work. And they talk about how long it takes, how much per hour they were spending, and they were talking about like how deep the commitment is. And honestly, it doesn't sound like this particular realtor has really run across Morgan's the bad side of Morgan's personality, or basically said, hey, I want something done, and they said no and tough luck. So I hope that I've given you a lot of information, some good things to think about in terms of using this company, and some good resources to take a look at. I strongly encourage you to weigh all of your options. 2 of the companies on my top 10 list, 3 of them actually, well, many of them, are very, very deep commitments. And Real Estate Webmasters is really one of the biggest commitments of them all, because of the way that the company is run, because of the way that the owner's personality is. And this is one of the reasons I review leadership on top of the actual offer, because it absolutely positively impacts you with some of these companies. There's just no way to separate the ownership from the service that you're getting. And so I feel obliged to kind of inform you about that distinction. So anyway, hope you found this helpful. Please leave me some comments, and I'll talk to you soon.